Hi friends, and happy President's Day. I decided to make a couple of videos today, or actually just one and then another one with some new protein products that I found today at a health food store really close to my house. So I'm going to talk about that later. But I'm going to start with 4 basic exercises. I know most people are home today, so for my clients I don't get to see tonight, I miss you all. I've got 4 quick exercises. We're going to use our slant boards. You can see down below. We are going to use just some basic dumbbells. And that's it. And Bridget told me, why don't you just do it in the living room, because it's got, number one, better light, and then it makes it more natural if people don't have a bench, which I was going to use downstairs, or, you know, kind of a workout area. You can make any place a workout area. You know, I always preach that. You don't have to have dumbbells. You can use, you know, water jugs. You can use kettlebells, whatever you have, whatever, you know, creates a little bit of resistance. So I'm going to start with, on my slant boards, we're going to do goblet squats. Then we're going to do single arm back pulls, which I like because some people don't have, you know, 2 implements, whatever. You can just, if you just have 1 heavy dumbbell, that's perfect. If you have 2, that's great too. So we'll do single arm back pulls. We'll do bicep curls. Everybody knows those. And then lastly, we'll do a combination shoulder move, which is going to be an overhead and a side raise. So it's nice and bright here in my back room. So join me. Thanks for looking. So the first move now is the goblet squat on the slant boards. Now, some of you know that were with me for the last couple of weight training for women groups. We have these beautiful slant boards that I bought at Amazon. They're like $17. So they come with, there's actually, you can make them a 3 set. So you can go lower, these separate, as most of you saw the other last couple of nights. And then there's this large one. So I'm going to use the doubles and the large one so I can have a good size slant. We're going to start the slant board just maybe hip width apart, maybe a little bit wider, depending on how you feel. Now, I like slant boards better than what you'd find in the gym. You see people actually, you know, kind of standing on a plate. But I find that if you stand on a plate, your heels are up and people tend to be on their toes when they come down for their squats. I don't like that because all of that, you know, results in issues with your knees, all the impact going to the knees. So I love these slant boards because you have to be on them, and you know, you've got to make sure that you're on them perfectly so that you don't go careening off. But because, you know, you've got your full foot, not just like, you know, kind of your heel on the top of the plate, you really, I think it kind of ingrains in your head to go into the plate a little bit, to go into the heel a little bit more. So I'm going to stand up, and you've got various options here. You could have your toes on the floor if you have these. You could have your full foot onto the slant board. If you don't have slant boards, you don't even need a slant board. You can just be on the floor doing a squat. I'm going to start with some just basic goblet squats. I'm going to use just my hand. So my hand becomes the goblet right in front of me. I kind of like bring my elbows out a little bit, and I can really feel why the slant board, because again, it gives you that extra glute engagement, hamstring engagement. You know me, when most people do squats, most people kind of tend to go forward instead of sitting back, so that's a little bit safer. I'm going to add a little bit of my goblet squat-ish, you know, with some kind of implement. So I've got my 10-pound body pump weight. You can use a dumbbell. You can use a water jug. You can use a book. Heck, whatever you have at home, right? So I'm going to sit back, keeping the implement nice and close to my chest. So you don't want to have it way out here. You're going to hurt your low back. So here we go. Again, just a little 10-pounder. Here's the first exercise. So we're just sitting back. You know, you could go for a minute. You could count to 10. I like to do 3 sets, whatever you want to do. And again, we could, if you don't have slant boards at home, hey, no problem, right? Nothing. Just make sure you're sitting back. And again, principles are always holding true through the heels, engage the hamstrings, and the glutes and the low back. That's what we do with squats, right? And if you don't want to have any plates or any type of goblet implement, just hands. Gosh, just your body weight is enough, right? Okay, so there's round 1. Okay, so the second exercise is going to be that single arm back pull. Again, lots of, you know, kind of mid-back and upper lat stability you're gaining, and not to mention core strength too when you're doing this. So I'm just simply on, Bridget and I have this beautiful, well, I won't take credit for it. She selected this beautiful leather ottoman, but it's just kind of perfect height. It almost looks like it could be, you know, a bench if we had a bench. If you had a bench, if you have a bench at home, or you could just use a chair, the back of a chair. That's perfect. All you need is something to put your hand on or your knee on if you'd like. I'm going to take a dumbbell, or this is my 10-pound plate again. You can use a kettlebell, whatever you have, a jug of water, whatever. Don't mind all the books. You could use some books, right? If you wanted to. Okay, these are all my books because it's my vacation, so I get to read a lot more than I normally would. So I'm going to put one knee up on the ottoman or the chair, whatever you want to do. And I'm going to lift my chest up, my shoulders up, back and down, leaning forward, nice flat back, and I just pull. Elbows right beside me. Now, why the single arm row as opposed to the double row? Well, I just think, you can sometimes go a little bit heavier without any neck strain, producing any neck strain. So I like that single arm row. Now I usually go much heavier, but just for the sake of the video, I've got the 10-pounder. Normally I do like 40s, 45s and strap into them. But, you can do, if you like, the double pull, that's fine too. I just like the single arm because you can go a little bit heavier. Okay, so again, obviously probably 10 on each side and probably 3 sets or maybe a minute for each set, whatever you think. Okay, so that's round 2. Round 3 is bicep curls. Now you could stand and do bicep curls, or you could, I like to sit and do bicep curls. Why? Because it really gives you some isolation for your biceps. If you stand, we tend to, use our lower body. So I'm just sitting on the very edge of that same hassock. You're sitting on the edge of a chair, probably not the couch, because the couch is too soft and you tend to round your back. So you want to sit on something, you can sit up just on the edge, kind of the edge, of your cheeks, kind of, for lack of a better word, and then really sit up nice and tall. So you can do double bicep curls, or you can do, I like to hold one. Single bicep curls gives you a little bit more. You've got one bicep loaded the whole time, so that makes it a little bit tougher. Okay, now if that's too tough, you can have one down, one up, whatever you want to do. And again, probably a minute or so, 45 seconds is what I usually do with you ladies. Or you can do doubles, whatever. Count to 10. If you're going to do singles, count to 20, so you get 10 on each side. And there's round 3. And lastly, we got a shoulder combination, which I love. It's nice if you can get 2 exercises in the time that you're doing just, taking 1 minute. So it's going to be a side raise to an overhead raise. Side raise to an overhead raise. Now you can open wide. I'm going to step back just a little bit. You can have your hands facing the wall or facing me and come on up. Or you can turn in this way and come on up. So as we come back down, we side raise. We come up, we can either go straight up or we can turn out to the side, whatever you want to do. Coming back down, side raise, up and over. Notice how I'm turning in, side raise, up and over. Okay, you're going to feel that for a minute or, 10, whatever you want to do. If you want to count to 10 or 15, that's perfect. So you're getting some back chain motion with your squats. You get obviously some back, some lats, then some biceps front, and then shoulders are overhead. So full workout today, 4 quick exercises, one's a combination. Probably can do this in like 10, 15 minutes tops, and you got a great workout. All right, I'll miss you guys this week. I'll see you next Monday.